Hello friends, welcome you all to this session of CSAT learning. Today we will be learning percentage, the chapter percentage. See, percentage you may have heard as a very easy chapter. This is very easy chapter, but most of the students, mind you, make mistakes while solving questions of percentage. Every year they ask at least 5 to 10 questions where either percentage is directly applied or indirectly applied. And while percentage is a subject which we have studied throughout our small primary and secondary classes like 6, 7, 8, and otherwise also in day-to-day life we use percentage. But the problem is when they ask question, there are certain terms we fail to comprehend the questions. When in most of the percentage question, the problem is we fail to comprehend what the question is asking, what the question is saying. Suppose they are asking what percent of x will be this much, what is 30% of x, what if x increases by 30%. All these kind of terminologies we face problem. So I am not going to take a lot of time and confuse you about percentage. This class is going to be extremely simplifying class, where I will be just simplifying to you the various terminologies in which the question is asked in terms of percentage. See, basically we understand the meaning of percentage. If you can see what is the meaning of percentage. So basically when we see percentage means per 100. If you go for literal meaning, percentage means per 100. Okay, so percentage is nothing but per 100. Suppose you have a number 30 out of, now this concept will come, percentage is nothing but another form of fraction. Percentage comes from fraction. Suppose I say 30%. Now what is the basic meaning of, you should all know what is the basic meaning. First of all, what is the basic meaning when I say 30% or 20%? So 30% means nothing else but just 30 by 100. Are you getting? 30% means nothing else, just the fraction 30 by 100. That means, which you can simplify it like 3 out of 10. If you cancel out zeros, it will be 3 out of 10. You can also say that this is equivalent to 0.3. So that means percentage is nothing but a fraction written out of 100. Are you getting what is percentage? Fraction written out of 100. But you have nothing to do with this literal meaning. This is of no gain to you. I just gave you the meaning, what does percentage mean. But what is more important for you is, suppose that means the percentage is defined from another number. That means suppose I tell you that I will give you 20% discount. Now 20% is not defined independently. 20% is defined out of something. So because I have already told you 20% is a fraction. So that means 20%, when I say, it is not defined independently, but it is defined by some number, 20% of x. This can be anything. This x can be either marks, either full marks, either price, anything in this world can be x. So first learning which I want to give you, that percentage is not defined independently. Suppose we say 60%, that does not mean anything. Percentage is defined on some number, and this number will become a very important number when you will follow this lecture in coming minutes, that this number is the reference. Percentage is defined in terms of a reference. I will call this number to be a reference. Now this is very important. Kindly remember, nowhere in mathematics book you will find this percentage explained in this manner. It's a very easy concept. If you just understand percentage with me in my manner once, you will see that no single question you will feel difficult to understand. Even in day-to-day life you will find very easy to use percentage. Okay, so first of all, remember the first rule. Please remember that percentage is defined out of a reference. There should be a number based on which percentage is defined. You have understood? I will repeatedly use this word reference in context of percentage. So please kindly understand what is this reference. Reference is the number based on which this percentage is defined. Now henceforth, suppose I say 30%, I want 30% of 30% discount on the MRP. So that means 30% discount on MRP. That means this 30% will be calculated on the MRP. Now suppose if the MRP is 800 rupees, so how much will be the discount? 30 by 100 into MRP, which is 800. So the first rule you have learned, first rule 1 is percentage is defined on a reference. Now how do you calculate percentage? Suppose, now see the second rule. Now rule number 2, please see. If I ask you to find any percentage of a number, suppose I ask you to find 20% of X. Suppose anything, it can be 15%, 20%. Very simple. I will not spend a lot of time. If you have to find 20% of any number, 30% of any number, what you will do? 20 by 100 into X. I hope all of you know, but still for sake of revision, I am showing this to you. If you have to find 85% of Y, suppose 85% of Y you have to find, what you will do? This will be equals to 85 by 100 into Y. Can you see? This is very easy. If you have to find 85% of Y, it will be 85 by 100 into Y. Now similarly, any percentage, even it can be more than 100. Suppose 165% of Z you have to find. You can easily do 165 by 100 into Z. That means you can find any percentage of any number. Is it clear to you? This is very easy, but don't run away from the video. Slowly and slowly I will go into other difficult terms and will make you easy. So first term is finding certain percent of a number. Finding certain percent of a number. All of you are clear? The second rule, how to find, you will just do percentage by, so basically A percent of B. How will you calculate? The general rule is A by 100 into B. You will remember this. A percent of B is A by 100 into B. Okay. Now you see what we will do. The third thing you have to learn is, that is very important. The third thing is how do you calculate what percent. Listen to my question. Now the question will be different. If I ask you what percent is A of B, these both are numbers. If you are given two numbers, earlier I was giving you to find certain percent of a number. Now I am giving you what percentage is A of B. Listen to the question. Suppose I am taking two numbers. What percent is 8 of 15? The number 8 is how many percent, how much percent of B? Listen, of 15, suppose. So they are asking now percentage. Earlier they were giving the percentage and asking you to find the number. Now they have given you two numbers. Two numbers are A and B, and they are asking what percent is A of B. Now remember, in the first slide I told you the reference will always be important. Whenever you have to find the reference, that means the reference is the total and the given number is the number of which you have to find the percentage. That means if 8, you have to find 8 of 15. So which is the reference? Reference is 15. So that means reference will be always in denominator. I already told you reference is in denominator and the actual number, which is 8, is in numerator, and then you will multiply by 100. 8 out of 15 is how much percent? That is what you have to calculate. So there are two numbers, 8 and 15. You have to calculate 8 out of 15 is how much percent? 8 out of 15 is how much percent? Is it okay? Now see, you can easily find like that. If I give you any number, suppose I ask you 120 is how much percent of 600? You can calculate 120 by 600 into 100. So in the second rule I gave you different question. Suppose I give you to find 15% of 600, that will be different. How will you find 15% of 600? So 15 by 100 into 600. But if I ask you what percentage is 120, listen to the question carefully. What percentage is 120 of 600? Then 120 by 600 into 100. This is also very easy. So now two rules you have learned. Basically what all you have learned? Suppose, let me clear this. Okay, yeah, so you have learned to find certain percent of a number. That means I'm just writing, for example, the first rule. I'm revising what all we have learned. The first rule is percentage is calculated out of reference. There should be reference out of which percentage is calculated. Now the second rule is you can find any percentage of a number, a% of B. Now the third rule you have learnt is you can find how much percent A is of B, A into B by 100. These three things you have learned. Now the fourth thing that is very important for you is, see why I told you the reference is very important, because suppose let us take this question, how much percent is 9 of 10? How much percent is 9 of 10? So let's solve this question. So if I have to solve this question, what will I do? 9 by 10 into 100. So this will be cancelled out. This is 90%. But now suppose I ask a different question. How much percent is 10 of 9? So now this will be different. So 10 by 9, 10 of 9. This of is very important in percentage. Of indicates the reference. That is why I am revising you this many times. Of is very important. Whenever you want to find which is the reference, you have to see the of. So this of denotes the reference. So 10 of 9, how much percent? 10 by 9 into 100. This will be equals to 1.11. So this will be something 111%. Okay, 0.11, 111.1. So now can you see this? These two are very different. Now see, if you have learned all these three things, you have to learn percentage change. The fourth thing you have to learn is percentage change. Now fourth thing you will learn is percentage change. Now how do you calculate percentage change? Suppose from A to B I ask you, A to B, how much is the percentage change? Now this is very important, because if I ask you that a number initially was A and then it became B, how much is the percentage change? Now listen carefully, you may make a mistake in this. Initially it was A and then it became B, then how much is the percentage change? So first of all, for finding percentage change, you need to calculate change divided by reference into 100. Okay? For finding percentage, anywhere in the denominator there will be reference. Anywhere for finding percentage, denominator will be reference. And for percentage change, numerator will be change. But which will be the reference? So the previous number, earlier number, or the initial number, whatever term you understand, initial number or previous number will be reference. That means suppose initially you had A and then the number became, this will be useful in many concepts, in velocity change, time change, speed change, price change, all kind of changes which we are talking. Suppose I tell you, if you are trying to buy a phone and the price changes by 10%, how will you know how much the price is? So you will take the initial price as the reference and 10% change on that. So basically percentage change will be from A to B, the percentage change will be, percentage change is equals to B minus A, final minus initial by initial into 100. Always remember like this, I will write the formula like this: final number minus initial number divided by initial into 100. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Final minus initial divided by initial into 100. This is the percentage change. Formula for percentage change. Any time you are asked to calculate percentage change in anything, कुछ भी change हो रहा हो, percentage change will be calculated like this: final minus initial divided by initial. Now if you understand this single formula clearly, I am telling you, you will not need to study profit loss for 1 second. Every time you will calculate profit percentage, it will be calculated on cost price. If you know profit and loss, percentage profit is calculated on cost price. Why? Because cost price is the initial number. Initially what you have? Only cost price, then selling price comes. So cost price becomes the reference. In discount also same thing happens. MRP is the initial price, then you discount it to discounted price. So MRP becomes the reference. In everything, in age calculation, in every kind of calculation, you need to learn this formula, that the percentage change is nothing but final minus initial divided by initial into 100. Okay. Now the same concept can be studied in a little different manner. How? Suppose I ask you, percentage change has been given and I ask you the final price. Suppose you are trying to buy a phone which is selling up for price P price, and then there is 20% increase. 20% increase. Now I am talking about percentage increase. There is this is the sixth concept. Then we will come to this. Percentage change we have learned. Now let us learn percentage increase and decrease. Percentage increase and percentage decrease. Okay. Now percentage increase and percentage decrease, we have to learn this. Suppose there is a number A, any number A given to you, and you are asked that A increases by 10%. There is 10% increase in A. So how will you calculate the final number? I have already told you the percentage change formula. So final number will be, finally it will be A initial number plus the change, that is, what is the change? 10% of A. So 10% of A. So if P percentage change is there, so we will write here P. So any number A, the initial value into that P percent of A has been changed. If there was a decrease here, it would have been minus. So the formula is very easy. Final is equals to initial. You can take A common here. Initial 1 plus minus, plus in case of increase and minus in case of decrease, P by 100. Now you see, very easy. That means suppose we have to get 10% increase. That means initial 1 plus 10 by 100. Now how much this will be? 110 by 100 into initial. So that means if you have to increase 10% in a number, if you have to increase 10% in a number, you will just multiply by 110. See, this is very important. All this process I am just showing. You just need to learn this part. That if you have to increase 10% into a number, any number, take suppose A is a number and you have to increase 20%. That means you just have to multiply. How has this come? I have shown you here. How is this formula coming? But you have to learn only this thing. If you have to increase 20%, you will multiply by 120 by 100 into a number. Is it clear to you? If you have increased 30%, you will multiply by, so suppose we want to revise 10% increase के लिए, what do you have to multiply? You will multiply the number by this. That means any number, suppose you have number 877 and you want to increase 10% in this number. How will you do? 877 into 110 by 100. Very simple. Directly you will get the final number. If you have to increase the speed, suppose your speed is 80 and you have to increase 20%, you will directly multiply by 120 by 100. 20% increase, what will you do? 120 by 100. 15% increase, what will you do? 115 by 100. Now these all numbers, these are very easy to guess, but you should also remember, if you are not able to understand where it is coming from, this number is nothing but 1 plus 20 by 100. Okay, so you can just remember multiplication. Now what is my role? I have taken 20 minutes of yours to teach percentage. What is my role? If anybody who has attended till this point will be really benefited, I am telling you, you already know how to calculate all these things. My role as a teacher is to teach you that you don't need to add anything for percentage increase. You just need to multiply every time. Even for increase, I will teach for decrease also. For any kind of increase, suppose you want 50% increase in a number. Suppose your salary is 30,000. Suppose your salary is 30,000 and you want 50% increase. What will you do? You will multiply by this number. What you have to learn is to guess this number, 100 plus x by 100, where x is the percentage increase. This number, you have to just know that to multiply with this number. And what in case of decrease, this is for increase. Now in case of decrease also it will happen similarly. The only thing is 100 minus y by 100, where y is the percentage decrease. Now suppose you were seeing, now this will help you in day-to-day life. Suppose you went to a mall and you saw the jeans price is 3,000 and there was written 25% discount. Now what you will do? You will start subtracting this, that. You just have to multiply. You don't have to subtract. How much you will multiply? Multiply with this number. The y value, the percentage discount is 25. So 100 minus 25 by 100, that will be 75 by 100, which is 3/4. So directly you can get how much is the final price. That means percentage change. I will show for some more numbers. If you have to decrease by 20%, you will multiply by 80 by 100. If you have to decrease by 50%, you will multiply by 50 by 100. Anybody who is finding difficulty to understand can pause the video and see again. If you have to decrease by 60%, suppose a number you have to decrease by 60%, so what will you do? You will multiply by 40 by 100, because this y is 60. Put the y here and directly you will get the number to be multiplied to get the final number. Are you getting? If you have to decrease by 10%, you will multiply by 90 by 100. If you have to increase by 30%, then 130 by 100. Don't get confused in increase and decrease. Denominator will always be 100 and numerator will always be increased or decreased. Okay, but mind you, this is based on the reference. Number will be multiplied only on the reference. I am increasing x by 20%, I am decreasing x by 30%. So only x can be multiplied with this number. Okay. Now if they ask you reverse, suppose they ask you reverse, that there is a number, suppose they have given you 900, but this number comes after 20% reduction in a number. The question is asked in a different manner. 20% reduction in a number, final number is 900, final price is 900. So what is the initial number? So you will never change your formula. You will always write the formula as initial, for there will be no confusion. Initial into 100 plus minus x, where x is percentage increase, by 100 is equals to final. Now what is this 900? This 900 is final because it is the output that you will have to see that which number is the initial number and which number is the product, final product. So 900 you will put here. This you already know because X is 20%. So plus minus you can decide by increase or decrease, and then you can find the initial. This same formula can be used everywhere. Neither you need to learn profit loss, neither you need to learn discount, anything you don't need to learn, only this formula, that initial number into this one is equals to the final number. Now this initial can be anything, cost price, initial marks, initial weight. Suppose your friend told that currently my weight, now I am giving you a question, currently my weight is 60, I have reduced my weight by 20%. I have reduced my weight by 20%. Now you have to find what was the weight earlier. What was the weight earlier? How will you find? Very simple. See, this 60 is initial number or final number. You just have to decide two things, that whether 60 is initial or final. You already know that 60 is currently, so 60 is final. You write here 60. Now 20% decrease, that means this number is 100 minus 20 by 100. I have already told you plus minus, plus in case of increase, minus in case of decrease. Now what is the initial number? That is the question. What is the initial number? X. So you can very easily find X from this equation. 80 by 100, this will go here. So X will be 60 into 100 divided by 80. No need of any confusion which to multiply, which to divide. Initial into this change number, you can call this change number, and which gives you the final number. You just need to multiply a number and you will get the final number. So if you go by this, you will find all the questions very easy. There will not be any problem in profit and loss. Suppose in profit loss, what happens? CP into 1 plus 100, the same formula, plus X divided by 100 into SP. Now you don't need to even learn this formula. See why? Selling price is the final price, cost price is the initial price. The same thing is happening here. In case of profit there is increase, in case of loss there is decrease. So you will use the same formula here to make the number. If you have learned these 4 or 5 basic rules, what were the basic rules? See, how to calculate the change from initial to final. Now I have also told you how to calculate the percentage change between two numbers, percentage of a number, what percentage A of B, all these 4 or 5 things. If you have understood the term, kindly write these terms separately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take as many examples and understand what is the difference between these terms and what is the trick that I have given you. And next class I will be solving good questions based on percentages, and then you will find it's very plain and simple, and I will explain all other chapters including profit loss, ratio, proportion, and all other chapters based on the concept that I have taught you today. Thank you for all of those who have attended today's lesson. I hope you are benefited with this lesson.